darling.
Hello everyone, my name's Sydnie Christmas.
That's an unbelievable name.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It's not.
Sydnie Christmas was an outstanding participant in Britain's Got Talent who touched every heart with her voice and gave such a great performance. Long after she performed on that stage, that moment remains fresh in the memory of everyone who saw it, earning her the exposure that she needed to push her career. However, despite the resounding success, she has faced a lot of criticism for her performance, and people have even made it clear that BGT should never have let her on the stage in the first place. So, what exactly could have gone wrong? We will get into this in a minute, but first, let's look at the early life and career of Sydnie Christmas. Being born into a creative family, she showed real potential in this area as early as possible. Most of the time, she was surrounded by the sound of music because her parents listened to her soulful songs and noticed something really special in her voice when she was just a child. Be it singing for the family or competing in different talent shows at a local level, the love for music was present in Sydnie, and soon she became renowned in her locality for having an enchanting voice. She had spent her early childhood molded by a deep interest in singing, and thus began Sydnie's journey into the world of music. Soon, it was more than evident that she had a knack for singing as she started singing along to popular hits with startling precision. Her parents wasted no time in encouraging this newfound interest of hers. At 7, Sydnie had begun voice lessons to further her craft, and through these early years, she found a love for a wide variety of musical genres, from pop to classical. She was versatile in understanding music, which added to her ability as a performer. Her first public performances started with school talent shows, where she never failed to make people gasp with her intense voice, full of emotion and confidence on stage. It wasn't long before Sydnie's teachers and peers realized this child was gifted with a talent worthy of taking to the next level. In addition to her education, she started performing at local events and even participated in minor singing competitions. All these initial shows not only helped her gain ample experience but also trained her for the bigger stage that awaited her on BGT. By the time she was in her early teens, Sydnie was starting to become something of a local celebrity, known above all else for her simply amazing voice and how she could relate to an audience. She then auditioned for the show Britain's Got Talent, and that was her big break. She left the judges impressed after such an engaging performance, with her extensive vocal range, emotional delivery, and commanding stage presence. Though young, her performance touched deep inside and moved everyone's emotions, a testament to the hard work put into cultivating talent from an early age. Sydnie's appearance on Britain's Got Talent marked a major turning point in her career, affording her a widely viewed platform to showcase her considerable talent. Her audition received a standing ovation from both the judges and the audience, and she was sure to rise as a star. While her journey was yet to be fully realized, her early life had laid a pretty sound base for a successful music career. Sydnie Christmas left the audience and judges on the popular talent show Britain's Got Talent speechless with an emotionally charged performance of Tomorrow, the signature song from the musical Annie. No one was prepared for the delightful shock that would occur once this young lady hit the stage, although she did come across as confident and determined from the very outset. Tomorrow is a song well remembered and recognized by many for its depth in emotion and vocal complexity. It's a challenging song, especially for a young singer such as Sydnie. The song requires a great range of voice and emotional expression, from hope to frailty, which is not so easy to combine. The audience reacted to her announcement with murmurs of curiosity and concern because many wondered if she would be able to pull off such a difficult piece. From the first note, though, it was evident that Sydnie was in control. As she started singing, her voice filled the room, clear, powerful, and emotional beyond her years. Sydnie's assured negotiation of the song's tricky high notes and crescendos left the audience gasping. Besides singing in a remarkably brilliant voice, she captured the heart of the song. Each note was delivered with such precision and feeling that it immediately captivated everyone in the audience. As the song progressed, the audience's initial curiosity turned into sheer admiration. By the time she reached those signature high notes in the chorus, the crowd was visibly moved, many standing in anticipation of what would be one of those unforgettable moments. The judges were also surprised at how mature and controlled Sydnie sounded, exchanging surprised and delighted looks. What really made this performance remarkable was how effortless it sounded, like she was merely gliding through the technical demands of the song while still making great contact with its emotions through her lyrics. The audience exploded in applause when Sydnie reached the last note. They were standing on their feet, whistling and clapping, clearly touched by the performance. It was one of those reactions that only occur when true talent has just stepped onto the stage. The judges were no less astonished, offering her credit for her courage in choosing such a challenging song and delivering it with so much grace and emotion. One of the judges even went as far as to say they hadn't heard such a heartfelt rendition of Tomorrow with that level of technical ability in a long time. But the most unforgettable moment came when one of the more emotionally overwhelmed judges pressed the prestigious golden buzzer, and Sydnie was showered in a storm of golden confetti as the crowd cheered. That was indeed the defining moment for Sydnie, one that secured her spot in the competition and booked her place among the strongest contestants. They praised her, of course, including Simon Cowell, not just for her talent but more importantly for having the guts to be so ambitious and pull off such a challenging song. Sydnie Christmas' unforgettable performance of Tomorrow on Britain's Got Talent left a mark on everyone in that room, including the famously hard-to-impress Simon Cowell. Known for his tough critiques and high standards, Cowell rarely seems impressed, and even less so by young performers. However, Sydnie's stunning delivery of the iconic song from Annie completely flipped that dynamic. From the second Sydnie started singing, Cowell's usual stern expression melted away as her powerful voice echoed across the theater. It quickly became apparent that even Cowell was surprised by her talent. During her performance, the camera captured Cowell nodding his head, something rather rare to see from him, since he reserves his praise for the best of the best. The presence of emotion could be seen across his face as Sydnie hit the high notes flawlessly, and a small smile began to develop. By the close of the performance, Cowell was leading the audience in a standing ovation, thoroughly impressed with the incredible vocal control and emotional depth of the young singer. Following her performance, Cowell didn't hold back his feedback. He let her know that he was surprised and utterly impressed. Cowell said that taking on a song as iconic as Tomorrow was a huge risk for any performer, much less a young Sydnie. He went on to commend her for rising to the challenge and exceeding everyone's expectations. He referred to her voice as extraordinary and one of the best performances he had seen from a young talent across the show. This coming from Cowell was a huge compliment, as he is known for setting the bar high. Bruno Tonioli was just as moved by Sydnie's performance. With his background in performing arts and choreography, Bruno is no stranger to recognizing true talent. Visibly engaged throughout the performance, his eyes lit up with every strong note Sydnie hit. On the final note, Bruno jumped from his chair, applauding enthusiastically. During his critique, Bruno congratulated Sydnie not only on her vocal ability but also on her connection with the song. According to him, Sydnie sang with a maturity of voice well beyond her years and showed incredible confidence in tackling such a difficult piece. Bruno's energetic and enthusiastic praise perfectly matched the excitement of the room. The most emotional reaction, however, came from Amanda Holden, who was visibly moved as Sydnie reached the last notes of Tomorrow. Amanda could be seen wiping away tears, overwhelmed by the combination of Sydnie's vocal talent and emotional delivery. When the performance ended and the crowd erupted in applause, Amanda wasted no time in reaching for the golden buzzer, sending gold confetti cascading down as the crowd roared in approval. Though most people were won over by Sydnie Christmas' appearance on Britain's Got Talent, not everyone shared the same view. Some critics felt she had an advantage over other contestants, as she was already an established performer. Critics felt that the show Britain's Got Talent should be saved for people who are at the very beginning of their careers with no professional experience whatsoever. To them, it seemed unfair for Sydnie to appear on the show because her previous work in successful productions might have given her an edge over less experienced competitors. Many noted that BGT had long been a launching pad for singers, dancers, and entertainers who were virtual unknowns in the business, and they felt Sydnie, with her past credits, had already had a chance for success. Social media lit up with the debate, with one side arguing that the show was meant to provide opportunities to people who hadn't been given their fair share on leading stages. This camp felt that since Sydnie had already done huge productions like Starlight Express, BGT didn't need her as much as it did other contestants, and that her presence might overshadow raw talents trying to make it big. However, many people defended Sydnie, saying that it was completely fair for her to appear and that talent is talent, regardless of past experience. Supporters argued that she was still young despite her history and that BGT could offer her new chances and broader coverage. They also pointed out that several professional performers had previously graced the stage on numerous occasions and that BGT was meant to showcase various forms of talent, whether amateur or experienced. By the time the controversy over Sydnie Christmas' involvement with Britain's Got Talent finally died down, it had become part of a broader debate about the nature of the competition. Some were quick to criticize her for already having an established career, while others felt that shouldn't matter since talent should be rewarded regardless of past achievements. But Sydnie's story was far from over. On the show, her prior successes had nothing to do with how viewers reacted when she received the golden buzzer. Sydnie Christmas is not the first already established performer to appear on Britain's Got Talent, and her appearance has reignited a debate that has surfaced multiple times before. Over the years, many other contestants with substantial experience and established careers have competed on the show. This has often sparked controversy, with audiences questioning whether the platform should be reserved for true newcomers. One famous example is Christian Spryden, a performer from South Africa who competed on Britain's Got Talent in 2014. At the time, Christian was not a well-known name in the UK, but he was no stranger to entertaining. In his native South Africa, he had built a reputation as a flamboyant and eccentric artist, with performances that had become legendary. When he brought this energy to BGT, his past career became a subject of controversy. Many viewers felt that someone with such experience shouldn't take the place of contestants who had never been in showbiz before. The inclusion of such contestants raised concerns about fairness, as it put seasoned professionals in direct competition with true amateurs. Another notable example is the salsa dancing duo Patty and Nico, who appeared on BGT in 2014. 79-year-old Patty Jones and her dancing partner Nico left the judges and audience in awe with their outstanding salsa routines, earning a golden buzzer from Amanda Holden. However, what many did not initially know was that Patty had set a Guinness World Record as the world's oldest acrobatic salsa dancer and had previously appeared on the Spanish version of Got Talent, where she had already found considerable success. When these details emerged, some fans expressed backlash, arguing that BGT should be a platform for unknown performers rather than those who had already gained popularity and recognition elsewhere. This ongoing criticism is part of a larger debate about what Britain's Got Talent is becoming. Many fans believe the competition should serve as a launching pad for genuinely unknown talent. Critics argue that allowing established performers takes the show away from its original spirit and puts contestants with no entertainment industry experience at a disadvantage. The inclusion of established performers like Sydnie Christmas, Christian Spryden, and Patty and Nico raises concerns about whether the show is staying true to its original purpose. Despite the backlash, some believe talent should be rewarded no matter what. Supporters of allowing experienced performers on BGT argue that even seasoned professionals can benefit from the mass exposure the show offers. They contend that it doesn't matter whether a performance is top class or not, the competition should be about showcasing the best talent. Others argue that not all experienced performers have had opportunities in the UK, so BGT can be useful in expanding their careers. Sydnie's involvement only fueled this ongoing debate, but her incredible talent and the overwhelmingly positive reception she received on stage served as a reminder that at its core, Britain's Got Talent remains a showcase of unbelievably talented performers. Despite the criticism surrounding her appearance on Britain's Got Talent, Sydnie Christmas remained composed and directly addressed the controversy. Responding to claims that it was unfair for an already established artist to audition, Sydnie explained that she joined BGT because she was seeking more opportunities. She expressed her longtime dream of performing on Broadway and saw the show as a stepping stone toward that goal. According to her, BGT was a way to reach a larger audience and take her career to a new level, especially in the highly competitive world of musical theater. Sydnie's aspirations for Broadway were at the heart of her motivation, and she frequently emphasized that despite her past successes, she still had a long way to go. Immediately after her Golden Buzzer performance, she returned to her day job, continuing to work hard to refine her craft and make a name for herself in the industry. She balances her work and performances while striving to reach her dreams. Her appearance on BGT was not the peak of her career, but rather a stepping stone toward her future. Throughout the controversy, she has demonstrated that, no matter the criticism, true success is fueled by a genuine passion for performing. What's your opinion on this matter? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.